The goal for me is really to make it to Formula One.
So today we have a very special guest. She is a racing driver competing at the Formula One Academy for Prema Team Motorsport. Welcome, Bianca.
Thank you for having me here. Hey everyone.
Thank you for coming. Is it your first time in Australia, in Sydney?
I actually grew up racing here a lot. Like during my karting days, I would often go abroad to gain more experience and stuff. And Australia was like the closest that I could go and gain a lot of experience because you guys had like really fast drivers. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And what made you choose like competitive racing?
Really, I'd have to date back to where when I first started, and that was when I was about a year old. My dad was a former karter, so really he just had so much passion and love for the sport. But we kind of all know how difficult it is to get into the sport because it's so expensive. So he kind of just diverted it into me, and he pushed me to pursue it, and instantly I fell in love. Like the minute I got in a kart when I was 3 years old, I just fell in love with the speed. I love the adrenaline it gave me, as well as the passion you have for it as well. It just keeps on growing. So, yeah.
And how did you get to Formula One, the Formula One Academy? How did you get to that point? Because it's a new competition.
It's a tedious process. Like the whole journey itself is it's incredible. I mean, you have to look back to the years that I've gone, through karting days and now of course, single seaters. I started karting when I was 3 and I've been doing it, since I was about 16, which is about 2 years ago. So yeah, really all of those years that I've put up into racing, all the sacrifices, all the achievements, the races, the defeats, the training, and all of that accumulated throughout the years. And then, you get a chance to make that transition from karting to Formula cars, which I was, very fortunate enough to do, even though, we came from a very middle class family and it was fairly difficult to get into it. But, with the help of everyone, yeah, I made it into Formula cars and now in F1 Academy.
That's good, congrats.
Thank you.
Already a big achievement for you. And you said you come from a middle class, and we know racing, it's really expensive. How did you get your sponsors, and who managed that for you? And
yeah, I think the minute you kind of get into Formula cars in the world of single seater, everything just becomes more professional. It's such a big community. You need to know the right people, you need to have the right backing, the right support. And the minute you get into Formula 4, you're talking about millions of dollars spending on it for a single year. So you really have to bring in sponsorships as well. That's kind of the different part of racing that you really need to learn. And for me, coming from Philippines, I had no clue. I got into racing, I was I didn't expect any of that. Really, I was baffled by it. And that's why really I was very fortunate enough to get the support, the support of everyone, especially my manager, Daryl Young. He introduced me to everyone, and he kind of gotten me all of the opportunities that I now have, getting that drive for W Series as well as F1 Academy, and everything just kind of linked up, and one thing led to another, and I was fortunate enough to kind of show my potential when I needed to, and instantly that was it. I was in it, and yeah.
Congratulations. Can you describe a day in the life of a racing driver? What's a typical day?
Typical day is if I look it through my schedule, I often just when I wake up in the morning, I'm just crying. I'm scrolling through all the things I have to do, because it really is kind of it's just so crazy and hectic. People don't often realize it, that you see us during the race weekends when we're driving and stuff like that, but leading up to those days, we're often training, dealing with the team, studying for the races, studying the track, studying the car, or and then the other side of it as well is doing all the media work, doing interviews, if you have to write an article or study something for an event, and all of this stuff. And doing all those events and media work leads you to racing, because then that's how you get a sponsorship. So Yeah, a typical day for me would often be, wake up at 5. First thing I would do is check my phone and and then see if my manager or my team needs me to improve anything, or if I need to do any social posting and stuff like that. And then I get ready, and then I'm off to the gym about 6 a.m. Yeah, I'm working out, training. I'm about there for about 2 to 3 hours. It's something that I always allot time into, because racing is such a physical sport that you need to keep on working out, and then you can't miss a day, honestly. And I finish around 8 to 9, and usually I'm full with interviews or media work, or if I have to go to an event, or if it's a race weekend, then I'm headed to the track, and we're gonna be racing and driving, which is the fun part of it all. But
yeah, people think that it's an easy life. You just get in a car, you just drive, and that's it. But it's all the work.
It is. It really is. I mean, and the fact that not many people get to have that chance and opportunity, really.
And what do you do on a race weekend to get your head ready, and how do you focus, because you must have so much people asking you for interview, photo? And
I mean, even now I'm still kind of working on it, and I think that's one of the downside of being just 18 and kind of living this enormous life where it's people, cars, and a lot of big crowds. And being so young, it's often easy to lose path or to lose focus, and to kind of divert. And then also mentally, I think everyone kind of suffers from the difficulties. There's moments where you don't feel like being a racing driver, where you're just mentally drained, and from training or from driving or from doing interviews and stuff like that. And that's why racing or being an athlete is such a mental game. For me, mentally, I struggle with confidence. Even I even remember my very first interview, I struggled to even just introduce myself. I don't know how to answer, how to get my what I want to say across, what I want to what I want to message to people. And that's why mentally I've been working at it. I'm doing meetings with sports psychologists. I've done quite a lot of social events to really get myself out there. And the minute that you kind of gain your confidence and you gain that kind of you get that mental side of you, okay, I'm focused, I'm calm, I can do it. And that's really the same for how I do my racing. When I get in the car, I know I have to tell myself that I'm in control of the car. I've got this. My head's on it. I know what I want. I know what I need to do, and just constantly, uplifting yourself. And that's why talking to yourself really helps you a lot, because really you don't have anyone else but you. And of course, apart from that, we do lots of mental trainings as well, the peripheral, the vision, and the reaction time and everything. And it's honestly so cool, because it's not human. It's nearly superhuman, the amount of reactions that we have to do, and you have to keep training them nearly every day.
And you have to choose to work in a very male-dominated sport. Do you hope to inspire the next generation of female driver? Or?
Really, that's that's definitely one of my aspirations. It's one thing to win, but it's another to be the difference you want to see in the world. And honestly, for me, I just want the world to be a better place for female athletes, female racing drivers, for them to pursue paths and not be put down and not be frowned upon. When I first got into karting, when I was about 3 years old, 5 years old, back then the idea of female racing drivers was so unheard of. People frowned upon about that idea of female drivers, and now to actually see the motorsport community, or the whole world, really just accepting empowering women and trailblazers. We see a lot of women in the motorsport community now, not just drivers as well, not just me, but we see mechanics, we see engineers, strategists, and honestly, that's just amazing. And for me, I also want to, aspire people coming from difficult backgrounds, male or female. I want to see more people chase their dreams, to go at it and not really waste time thinking, you know, whether they should do it or not. Just, you know, keep grabbing every opportunity that you have.
You're only 18, but you're already a model for a lot of people.
I'm
like
still working on myself as well. It's still unfinished project.
And do you have any advice that you can give to someone that want to start a motorsport racing career? Like the best advice you could give to someone?
Well, you know, the best advice is really, you know, especially for aspiring racing drivers, you know, is actually to pursue, you know, to pursue what finds you, you know, to pursue what gives you that emotion, to pursue what gives you adrenaline, what makes you happy. Because really for me, you know, it was so easy to say that, oh, I want to drive, oh, I want to race, oh, I want to be a racing driver, but to actually put in the effort, to actually, you know, give into the sacrifices, you know, to train, to give everything, you know, my whole life revolved around motorsport. And so you really got to ask yourself, do I want this? Do I want what I'm doing? Do I love what I'm doing? And the minute that you really do, then everything else becomes easy, because, you know, growing up, it was so difficult for me. But regardless of all that, you know, I was able to overcome all those hindrances because I loved what I'm doing. And so, yeah, the advice I can give is to find what you love, to, you know, to pursue what makes you alive, and to live everything 100%, because you never know what comes, you know, knocking by. So, you know, to experience every opportunity and not take anything for granted.
And you finally have, got some from racing. Finally, do you? Because you got to
visit the vault.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh.
And do you miss it? Do you miss like being in a car, being on a racetrack?
I definitely do. I mean, I wasn't, you know, far from the track. I mean, I was in a car like about 3 weeks ago. I'll be in a car very, very soon, so I'm looking forward to that. But I do miss it. Like, you know, it's so different. You know, like a lot of people, you know, drive fast in the streets, in their cars, you know, day to day. But like, it's such a different feeling when you're actually driving in a circuit. Like, just, you know, you're in the car, you're maximizing it, you're kind of like over the limit, and you're catching the car. It's such a good feeling.
Must be a good feeling, man. Yes, please. I would love that. I'll probably be scared. So at the moment, you're living between two different countries, like Italy, where Prema is, and the Philippines, where your family is.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge for you? Because
that's one of the other challenges, you know, that I actually have to live, is the amount of traveling we do. Like the difficulties for racing is that, you know, all of the tracks are so far apart. You know, it's always like different countries. It's not just like a few hours drive. It's always like a few hours plane ride. So it's always so difficult. And yeah, this year I had to travel a lot. I mean, it is beautiful to see the places and stuff, but it is kind of tiring sometimes. You know, especially coming from Philippines, it takes like 2 days to even get to Europe. So I don't get to go back home often, which is, you know, quite sad, but it's just, yeah, one of the sacrifices. You know, traveling by myself and always being away from family is you know, very difficult as well. But yeah, I get to live in Italy, you know, near Venice, where Prema is based at, so it's quite beautiful.
it's pretty cool, yeah.
It is, it's very beautiful.
I saw you training a lot in France as well.
Yeah, so yeah, France is like pretty much my second home, really.
Allez les Bleus.
Pretty much my second home in Europe. It's really just where I train the most. You know, after every race, I'm often at Annecy training there. It's a beautiful place.
Such a beautiful city. Yeah.
I'm like obsessed. I just want to live there when I grow up, really, because it's so quiet, it's so peaceful, and I get to do what I love. You know, I get to train indoor, outdoor. My training facility is actually there. 321 Perform is, you know, where I train with a lot of the drivers as well, where I train with Esteban Ocon. So yeah, another person that I really look up to as well. Like, he's very down to earth, very humble, and very hardworking. So I get to experience that when I was in Annecy, and yeah, the place is just really beautiful.
And did you have
and good food.
Good food, eh?
Yeah, good food.
We're pretty well known for that in France. And did your family came to a race with you, like, or not?
It's
yet?
quite difficult, especially coming from Philippines. Yeah. Like, even just the plane ticket is so expensive. So often they just support me through like live stream and stuff, but they did have the opportunity to watch me race live in UAE early this year. So that, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And do you have any role model, idol in motorsport?
Well, quite a lot. I mean, yeah, this is a very tough sport. So like when I see racing drivers make it to F1 and, think about, where they came from, like in karting, I mean, it really is a long journey. They spend their whole lives dedicating, to make it to this path and in this career. So it really is beautiful. And, I've looked up to, Niki Lauda my whole life. He's a very well-known F1 driver. He's very disciplined. He's fast on track, but at the same time, he's so smart. And really, for me, he's the epitome of a champion. He has all the attributes you need to, to not just be a winner, but to actually, be the difference. And he really was. He defined, an era in motorsport, and he's inspired a lot of the younger generations as well. Like for me, for instance, because of him, I learned that nothing is impossible as long as you really believe in what you do.
And what's something about you that not many people know?
Oh my gosh. This one is quite tough because I don't even know. I mean, I can't think of anything that's not racing related, but I actually draw. I think some people will know about this because I try to make myself a bit more diverse. So I do STEM. I studied STEM. I graduated this year actually. Yeah, I graduated high school, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and I plan to do either engineering or architecture in college. And so yeah, I draw. I love just art in general. I love the beauty of creating things. That's why, I was always so drawn into racing, because when you're driving, you're always taking different lines and you're kind of just, creating art yourself on track, as well as, driving fast. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say that art is my center, but yeah, I draw.
That's a good one. And do you see where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Because we can see like the Formula One Academy, it's changing.
Yeah.
Like next year is gonna be totally different. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, the goal for me is really to make it to Formula One. F1 Academy is an amazing stepping stone to give us a platform to showcase what we have as as drivers. It's given us so many opportunities. Through F1 Academy, it's giving us visibility. A lot of people are supporting us, and people that aren't even Formula One fans. It's honestly incredible that because of this, I was able to inspire people that don't even watch F1 or not even into motorsport to come and kind of get into this whole new world of motorsport, which is pretty cool. And through all of that, I'm able to achieve my goals, which is to make it to Formula One. I want to go up the ladder in the motorsport, to make it to Formula 3, to Formula 2. And I know it's going to be quite difficult, but I know that a lot of changes are coming to support more females, as well as to have a female up there in Formula One.
Finger crossed for you.
Yes.
We hope what's gonna happen. So we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today.
I enjoyed it. It's a really cool layer. It's so cool, honestly. All the shoes and everything. I'm actually not a sneakerhead. I got into this whole new shoes thing early this year. Recently because of the vault. Honestly, I've never known about all these shoes. When I received my first pair of Dunks from Vault, I was like, what is this? There's different colors of the same shoes. I'm like, what? And then now I'm obsessed, really, thanks to Vault.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. And these are Dunks. These are lows.
But Jordan
Low.
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
Yeah, I'm learning. Yeah, I'm doing my best. I was like, I need to be prepared.
What is this one?
This is Jordan ones.
And?
Mid. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Honestly, okay, this has to be one of my first ones, because this is actually the first pair that I got from Vault.
Yeah.
And I love the color, honestly. Like, it's so easy to match with everything, like dailies. I think I even got like, I even got a story reply once because I used it when I was training.
Yes, you do a lot actually. So,
and they were like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you like creasing them? I'm like, I didn't know.